Fossil fuels for class 8. Fossil fuels will be discussing coal, petroleum and natural gas. But first of all, let us note that all of them, the major component is carbon. Whether it is natural gas or petroleum or coal, the major component is carbon, followed by hydrogen and nitrogen, and sulfur as impurity. Sulfur would be the impurities, but then essentially you have carbon and hydrogen as the main components, of which carbon is the main component. Coal, petroleum and natural gas. Coal, petroleum and natural gas, these three things were formed from the dead remains of living organisms or fossils. Coal, petroleum and natural gas. From where do they come from? They come from dead remains of living organisms, dead remains of plants and animals or fossils. They are called fossil fuels. All these are coming from dead remains of plants and animals. Coal, petroleum, gas, all these are coming from the dead remains of plants and animals. They are called fossil fuels. First, coal. How coal was formed? Dead plants got buried deep under swamps and marshes. Under high pressure and high temperature, deep below the earth, they got gradually converted into coal. So that happened many years ago, even before the dinosaurs. Many plants died in swamps. Over millions of years ago, the plants were buried under water and dirt. High temperature and high pressure turned them into coal. So this is the sequence. The plant will die and will be buried under swamps, under water and dirt, and high heat and high pressure will change them into coal. As coal contains mainly carbon, the slow process of conversion of dead plants or dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. Because coal is mainly carbon, so converting dead plants into carbon, that is carbonization. So coal formation or conversion of plants into coal could be called carbonization. Now these are the different types of coal. Lignite contains 30%, subbituminous 40%, bituminous coal 50 to 70, and anthracite, the hard coal, contains 90%. So as the time progresses, as it becomes older and older, the carbon content increases. So first we have peat. Now this is not a coal but actually a transition form. Then we have the brown coal or lignite, which contains only 30%. Then we have bituminous, soft coal, a higher percentage of carbon. And finally hard coal or anthracite with a maximum up to 90% carbon. And all of them require the same thing: high temperature, high pressure. High temperature, high pressure, the same condition will convert vegetation into an intermediate peat, then lignite, then bituminous, and then finally anthracite, containing the highest percentage of carbon. Destructive distillation of coal. When you heat something or burn something in absence of air or out of contact with air, it's called destructive distillation. You have to heat something out of contact with air or in absence of air or in a very, very limited supply of air. That's called destructive distillation. Here we have taken a hot test tube and some coal. We have taken powdered coal and we are heating it. There's a burner. You have to heat it to high temperature. You will get the solid part here, remains here. The liquid part will come here. They are two kinds of liquid, we will see later, and we will get the gas here. So one is the solid part, one is the liquid part, and one is the gaseous part. The solid part is called coke, C-O-K. That's called the coke that is left behind after the heating is over. The liquid, one thin liquid is called ammoniacal liquor, and the thick liquid is called coal tar, and the gas is called coal gas. So one solid, two liquids, and one gas. The solid is coke, liquids are ammoniacal liquor and coal tar, and the gas is coal gas. Now let's see one by one. Coke. It's tough, porous, and black substance. It is tough, porous, and black, and one of the purest form of carbon. Where it is used? Coke is used in the manufacture of steel and the extraction of many metals. When we get metal oxide and we add coke or carbon, oxygen will be transferred to this, forming pure metal. From metal oxide you get pure metal, and the coke or carbon becomes oxide of carbon, usually carbon dioxide. So with the coke you can reduce metal oxide to metal. That's why we use coke in the extraction of metals. The liquid part first, the lighter liquid, ammoniacal liquor, and then the heavier liquid, coal tar. Ammoniacal liquor is just ammonia gas dissolved in water. Ammonia gas, NH3, when it is dissolved in water, it is NH4OH, the common ammonia water, which sometimes we use as window cleaner. So ammoniacal liquor is nothing but ammonia dissolved in water or ammonium hydroxide. Now the thick liquid, coal tar. It's a black, thick liquid with an unpleasant smell, a bad smelling, thick, black liquid. A bad smelling, thick, black liquid you can see here. It's a mixture of more than 200 substances. The products obtained from coal tar are used for various purposes. That could be the starting point for manufacture of synthetic dyes, drugs, explosives, perfumes, plastics, paints, roofing materials, naphthalene or mothballs. So all these could be the product of coal tar, the unpleasant smelling, thick, dark liquid. Previously, coal tar was used for metaling roads, but now bitumen is preferred. Bitumen comes from the petroleum, whereas coal tar comes from coal. Previously, we were using coal tar for metaling roads, but nowadays bitumen is preferred. Next, we have the gaseous product, coal gas. Coal gas is obtained during the process of coal, that is processing of coal, that is destructive distillation of coal to get coke. Processing of coal means destructive distillation of coal to get coke. This coal gas is a mixture of hydrogen, methane, carbon monoxide, and other gases. Previously, it was used for domestic lightings. Now it is used as a fuel in many industries, particularly those industries which are situated near coal processing plants or collieries. So it is mainly used as a fuel for illumination. Next, we have petroleum. Petroleum is formed under seabed. It is always formed under ocean bed and seabed. For millions of years, the dead marine organisms, microorganisms that live in seas and oceans, the dead marine organisms were transformed into petroleum and natural gas. So this is how we have. Before the dinosaurs, great plants died, and we have the water. Underwater, the dead plants are buried, and we are getting coal. This was the coal. The same thing is for petroleum. If this you replace it with marine organisms, and then they will be buried, heat and pressure, everything will be the same. And instead of coal, you will be getting petroleum. So the identical, that's why we have given the coal picture here, so that you can compare. Although it was petroleum, we have given the same picture as we gave in coal deliberately, so that you can compare. All you have to substitute is, instead of vegetation or plants, you have to write marine organisms, and they are being buried under the sea bed, and then instead of coal you get petroleum. Petroleum is a dark oily liquid. It has an unpleasant smell, a very bad smell. It's a mixture of various constituents: petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax. The process of separating the various constituents, these constituents are called fractions. The various fractions or constituents is called refining. So refining means separating the petrol, separating the diesel, separating the lubricating oil, separating the paraffin wax. Separating the constituents from the crude oil is called refining, and it's carried out in petroleum refineries. There's a picture of petroleum refinery. Now these are the important constituents. LPG, used in home and industry as cooking gas. Indian cylinders we have shown here. Petrol, used as a motor fuel for your cars and bikes. Kerosene is used for stoves. Here we have shown a kerosene stove. Lamps and for jet aircrafts. Diesel for heavy motor vehicles like lorries. Here, lorries, they run on diesel. Buses, they also run on diesel. Tankers, they run on diesels. Lubricating oil is used for lubrication to reduce friction. Paraffin wax is used for candles. There's a candle of a Vaseline. Bitumen is used for road surfacing. Earlier we were using coal tar, but now we are using bitumen for metaling the roads. Natural gas, the third fossil fuel, is stored under high pressure as compressed natural gas. That's the full form for CNG, compressed natural gas. It is used for power generation. It's a starting material for the manufacture of a number of chemicals and fertilizers. CNG is now used as a fuel for transport vehicles, that is buses, because it's less polluting and it's a cleaner fuel, causing less harm to the environment. What are the advantages? It's a cleaner fuel, means very little pollution. It can be used directly for burning in homes and factories where it can be supplied through pipelines. So nowadays you may be finding even this one in petrol pumps, CNG. Why must we use fossil fuels as little as possible? And why must we switch to alternative energy sources? First, a fossil fuel is exhaustible and non-renewable. Any kind of fossil fuel. It could be coal, it could be petroleum. It's exhaustible and non-renewable. It causes pollution and damages the environment. It causes global warming. Now, the Petroleum Conservation Research Association, PCRA, Petroleum Conservation Research Association, advises people on how to save petrol and diesel while driving. Drive at a constant and moderate speed. Switch off the engine at traffic signals or where you have to wait. Ensure correct tire pressure, neither too high nor too low. And ensure regular maintenance of the vehicle. A well-maintained vehicle always consumes less fuel. So that was Easy Elite English, and as usual we make these videos not as a substitute for textbook but as a last minute pre-exam revision. So if you need a video on any topic, you can tell us. Our email and WhatsApp number, you can find them in the description box. And remember that all our services are always free of charge. So continue watching, like us, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. Till then, thank you and goodbye.